However, Woolawoo was happier that their footsteps were flowing this way, for now aloneness had been swooshed away. She was clear again and could feel, and she felt that this way was possibly the direction that would lead to her home. They began moving faster, and after a short while they patascooned around a large bush and into an ooming presence. They both stopped suddenly. Looming up in front of them was a large flumph of a shape. Both travellers sniffed and sensed it in silence. Heavy and old and wet it felt, wide, high and dark it was, and ooming in silent majesty. The two travellers, silent and still, watched. It did not move. Its ombus told them that it did not have a habit of moving, so they felt a little safer and slowly approached it. Not all rocks are friendly, which is what it was. The ombus turned out to be a large grandfather rock. Seasons happened fast for a rock, like the shadows of clouds that we see moving across the land. His only interest was the rich colours of the changing forest around him as the seasons wheeled past. Waves of time rolled through him, aging him into eternity's deep, rich arms, adding feelings of majesty to his the wheeling seasons echoing around his shimmers of eternity's original potent darkness, a darkness empty and yet full. The rich platform for experience and of wisdom. Woolawoo thought about his powerful It was a place that she had learnt to tap into to find needed silence. Then, to find insight and understanding, as long as she allowed life to flow into her and mingle with the rich, full darkness also. The grandfather rock himself she could also tune into, if she felt it was a safe rock. Most are, but some are not. And make her presence known to him for answers to questions that she could not answer, or to gain views of history, if need be. Rocks can tune into her time also, and could answer these questions, if they chose. Woolawoo looked at Wangdoogly. He was staring up towards the top of the rock. Then he looked to his left and pootled off around the rock and out of sight. A moment later, way up high above her, he reappeared at the top of the grandfather. Wangdoogly stared down at her with a wide, round, droop eyes. Then his slow, big grin told her to come on. Woolawoo raced to the top of the highest tree beside the plump grandfather, then leaped and scratched her way up to the Wangdoogly. Out of the forest now they were, open sky, sitting in silent splendor together. They looked into the deep, endless royal blue of the night, their gaze falling into the richness of its depth, softer and deeper than any sea, where one's eye is pulled back to gaze in amazement at the twinklement of endless stars. Chimes in the emptiness, echoing endless's song into the night sky. It made her companions feel both alone and yet together, peaceful and making the stars less an wonderment above their lone-trod steps, ushi meaning awe-inspiring. Making the stars less an wonderment above their lone-trod steps, and more like companions also. Chapter 2. Many moons did they travel together, Wooloo sometimes swinging from branch to branch, or leaping from tree to tree, and sometimes walking behind the snuffle-hog swags of Wangdoogly, happy and pondering the mystery of their together. They travelled by half-day and by night, Wangdoogly's being suited to night times, for they follow the scents that arise in the warm, rich forests of the night. His mother used to say, "Grandfather Moon is pulling out the scents of her night garden. Eat the scent of each flower and mushroom, for flowers she cannot see, but dream them she can in her mind. When smells them she does, and then she see the way things are. We also, we see them like she, in their smell, more clearly and beautifully than other creatures, for we smell their secrets, their healing and their song, and follow them with our snouts. We never lost, always food, always shelter." Much of their wanderings together were spent in silence, other than Woolawoo's occasional preets of Woola pleasure or songs, the high notes springing out big-toothed grins from Wangdoogly. Within their silence were looks to one another, looks of measurement, pleasure, or confirmation about the beauty of certain flowers, beautiful shadows or light in sun or moonlit glades. Woolas often sleep in tree beds that they make from soft by-leaf leaves, or such like, but Woolawoo liked the ground. Each night, late night, when Woolawoo was asleep, Wangdoogly would find secret pleasure in Woolawoo's night purrs. They whirred up inside his body until a rich sleep sopped him up. And each night her purring got closer and closer, until she moved closer and closer to him, until at last they lay together, snuggled and warm, Woolawoo with her face often snuggled under Wangdoogly's soft fleshiness of armpit. Some mornings the sweet oogle smell lulling her back into a deep, comfortable sleep. Good night, sweethearts.